Welcome back to NAB 2013, the National Association of Broadcasters Convention in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm Michael Artsis. Thanks for joining us. We're here at the Las Vegas Convention Center in booth C9939. That is the Teradek booth because we're broadcasting with Teradek. Thanks to Teradek because of Teradek. Teradek is the wireless leader. They are the wireless wizards. If you want to broadcast wireless for broadcast television, if you want to do it streaming for the web, or if you want broadcast, or if you want wireless in cinema, you got to turn to Teradek. They make a slew of great products to make all this happen. I use their camera top encoders. They're phenomenal. They're small, they're lightweight, they're battery operated, and you can literally go anywhere, broadcast from anywhere, from any camera, as long as you have an internet connection. Speaking of the internet connection, how about Ustream? We're broadcasting on Ustream. This is Ustream's NAB 2013 broadcast, and Ustream is the place to be if you want to broadcast your event, your family function, or an award show or something. So, find out more on ustream.tv. All right, we have a very special guest joining us. His name is Richard. I knew I was going to mess this up, and I'm really good at this. Schleuning. Richard Schleuning. He's from Carl Zeiss Optics.
Yep.
You guys make what I think are the best lenses out there.
Thanks.
Bar none, by far. I shot a music video exclusively with your 51.4 on a Canon,
Yep.
on a 5D Mark II a couple years ago.
Right.
And then we used a couple other lenses for the B cameras, but I shot only with this lens and was pretty much the only shots we used. It's
Cool.
phenomenal. I love the lens. I love your lenses. I love what you guys have. And now you've got some new lenses here. Right here, this isn't a new lens, but I've got it right here on the 5D Mark III. Got a PL mount.
That's actually a Canon mount.
And it's
Actually, that lens is a native Canon mount.
this is a Canon mount.
Mounts directly to an unmodified DSLR.
Oh, I was convinced that this was a PL mount.
No.
Wow, you guys pull a lot of tricks out of the bag. That's very impressive.
It's interesting. Back before we developed these lenses, and when the 5D Mark II hit, people were looking. They wanted a cinema lens to fit onto the DSLR camera, trying to take a PL mount, and people started to modify the DSLR bodies. They would take the Canon mount off, they would strip the mirror box out, they'd put a PL mount on it, and they were walking around with the legacy PL mount lenses on this camera. When we introduced the CP2s, you didn't have to do that anymore.
Well, and that's what I really like that you said that. I didn't realize that. This is a 15 millimeter 2.9.
Ultra wide, yeah.
And what I like about that is that's the one thing that always bugged me. I'm not a guy who likes to modify my gear. I always felt that I learned early on that I'm not handy, so I tried to modify my first car, Jeep Wrangler, and I still have scars.
Yeah.
And I realized it's much better to pay somebody else to do it, who knows what they're doing, than for me to do it myself. So the fact that you guys have made a mount that works with the Canon lenses, or the Canon lens mount, is phenomenal, especially because now you can put your Canon lenses back on after you take this off. Let's say you buy 1 or 2 of these or 3 of them, you can still use other Canon lenses.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And you don't modify the camera. That's what I like.
Right, and what's also unique about these lenses is the fact that I can actually exchange that Canon mount with another 4 different types of mounts. So as your camera bodies change, let's say, it's an entry-level filmmaker, let's say you're starting with a DSLR, but you want to use a RED in the future or an Alexa in the future, which is a PL mount. You just swap the mounts.
And so I was going to bring that up. I think that's phenomenal. When did you guys start doing that? I know you've got 2 zoom lenses we're going to get to here that are like brand spanking new,
right,
which is exciting to me. And they're for DSLR shooters.
Yeah, entry-level cameras, including DSLRs.
But when did you start doing the mount changing?
The mount changes. So 2010, we introduced the 2nd generation of the compact primes. The 1st generation we introduced in 2009. That was PL mount only, targeted primarily for the RED camera. Then we recognized with the 5D Mark II hitting in late 2008, there was a real opportunity for people who wanted to use this camera for motion capture, but lacked the kind of a true cine-style lens. So we saw an opportunity, modified the lens mechanically to give us the choice of these 5 mount options. So in 2010, we started to ship the 15 millimeter and the new 135 are our latest lenses, so we're still expanding the product line. We're now up to 14 different primes.
This is phenomenal. It's so gorgeous. I really love it. When you work at Zeiss, do you get to take these home? So you get a discount? What's the deal?
So the beauty is that when I go out and shoot on the weekend, I have a choice of...
I'm so jealous.
Any lens.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, it's great.
They're really phenomenal lenses. I can't say enough good things about them. So this is the 15 millimeter 2.9,
Right.
and I love it. It's stunning. Let's talk about the 70 to 200. Tell me a little bit about it. I mean, this is a lot beefier than what you would normally see as a 70 to 200, but this is designed for the DSLR shooter, or for an entry-level shooter, as you would say,
Right.
and you can put multiple mounts on it, which is tremendous. So,
Right.
like you said, you could start with a Canon 5D Mark III and move up to a red.
Yeah, exactly. So we had a difficult decision to make when we designed this lens, whether or not we wanted a zoom lens to cover a Super 35 chip, APS-C, which all cine zoom lenses do. Regardless of the manufacturer, they cover that Super 35 chip. Or whether or not we saw a future where a full frame chip from a camera like this would become more normal. We decided to bet the house, if you will, on covering the big chip.
Good.
And now we see cameras like the 1DC,
Yeah.
right? We see the new Red Dragon sensor, which is physically a little larger than the Super 35. We need a lens that covers the bigger image circle size. So the new compact zooms, what makes them unique, it's the only cine zoom lens in the world that covers a 24 by 36 chip size.
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Can I look at this lens?
Yeah. So we try to make it like the
is
CP2s,
gorgeous.
where the mounts are also interchangeable. This one is the PL mount version, but I can pull that mount off and put a Canon mount on it, or a Nikon, or a Sony E mount, or a Micro Four Third mount. So rental houses love this because they
this
can
is
dedicate
gorgeous.
to one set of lenses, and depending on what camera it rents with, they just
Yeah.
swap them out.
That's unbelievable. And what about the electronics?
There's no electronics.
So it's all manual aperture, manual focus. That's
Exactly.
great. I actually prefer that. I use a Nikon D800. I use mostly manual aperture lenses and manual focus, obviously.
Right.
So that's phenomenal. This is terrific. And this is your new 28 to 80.
So this is the first time in the US we're showing this lens. It's the
I'm so happy about that. This is great.
So this is the second companion.
And have you shot with this personally?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Wow.
Can't wait.
This thing is awesome.
It weighs about 4.5 pounds. Like the 70 to 200, it covers the full frame, and the mounts are interchangeable.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. If you had to shoot with one lens, what would that be? I know exactly what lens. If I could only shoot with one lens, if you told me, let me put the lens cap back.
I mean, if I was shooting primes,
One lens. I'm giving you one lens. You're going out. What are you shooting?
you know, if I'm shooting on a full frame chip, I'm shooting with a normal focal length, or like a slight wide angle.
Yeah, let's say you're
35 or 50.
Okay, and which one? What aperture?
So on the 50, we have actually in the 35 and the 50, we have a choice of either a T1.5 or a T2.1. I would opt for the 1.5 because it gives me a more flexibility for shallow depth of field if I want a creative control or low light capability. But still, when that lens is stopped down, phenomenal image quality across the two. So on a prime, it would be a choice between the 35 to 50. On the zoom, it would be that baby right there.
That's beautiful. I always tell people if I only could have one lens, if I could only have one lens, it would be the 51.4 from you guys for the Canon mount. Well, I guess now it would be the Nikon mount, but it's just so beautiful and so gorgeous, and I think I could figure out a way to get away with all my shots on that lens. I actually just shot a tech review on the 5D3, and I shot the entire thing on their 51.2.
Okay.
The entire thing.
Yep.
Kind of as a challenge to myself.
Right.
And I wanted to also show off that lens because I like it for them, as far as their lenses. But so I know now that I could do it, and that's why I say that would be, and I've said this before, but I know for a fact that that would be my lens of choice, the 51.4, and it's so gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a normal focal length. You're not going to see any sort of wide angle distortion. You can shoot people with it. You can shoot products.
Everything.
Yeah.
You really could, and I used it for that entire music video, which was phenomenal.
Right.
So, tell me about the pricing on these lenses.
So the compact primes run between $3,990 to about $5,700, depending on the focal length.
Yep.
The 15 is one of the more expensive ones at $5,700, but designed for the owner-operator, entry-level filmmaker. These are actually the least expensive cine lenses on the cine zooms on the market. They're $19,900. So a lot of people will ask themselves, well, I already own a 70 to 200 autofocus zoom lens made for still photography. Why do I need to spend $20,000?
Image quality.
It's not just image quality. It's actually, you want to be able to hold focus through the zoom range.
That's true too.
So an autofocus lens made for still photography.
Right, the back focus changes.
Never really made for motion capture.
Right.
So with a camera like this, the depth of field is so shallow that if I really wanted to zoom in and hold critical focus on like the eyes,
Yep.
with a lens that's not really made for that, you're going to see focus shift.
So I get to keep all these? This is my gift of purchase?
Yeah.
I appreciate that more than you know. I wish it was true.
Right.
Thank you, though. Thank you for playing along.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think that these are really, really phenomenal lenses that you have here. I recommend them to everybody. And look, these are steep. They're steep in price.
Yes.
But you know, the reality is, if you can't afford them, start with other Zeiss glass.
Right.
And you make great Zeiss glass, like the 51.4. It's a great lens, and you make some great lenses. I love these. I think everybody's got to check them out. You guys definitely make the best lenses. That's my endorsement. I'm saying it here.
Thank you.
It's legit. I know what I'm talking about. And thank you so much for coming on, Richard.
Pleasure.
I really
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Michael.
We do have a great gift for you, and it's a camera strap from Black Rapid for your next video shoot.
Excellent. Thank you
All
very
right?
much.
Thank you so much. I'm
appreciate
Michael Artsis. We'll be back with more from NAB Live 2013 right after this.